Bella Ramsey stepped into Eleven's role only after Millie Bobby Brown walked out when a contract shift pushed her past her limit. Netflix scrambled to save season 5, and every delay pushed production deeper into trouble. Once Bella entered the room, the creators saw she was the only actor capable of stabilizing the final chapter. 11 had been Millie's character for years, yet the finale demanded a darker tone. Scripts were collapsing, rewrites piled up, and the season risked losing its core. Bella arrived with a sharp, controlled energy that instantly fit the new direction. She didn't copy Millie. She brought her own edge. Her audition left the creators silent. Bella's delivery felt colder and more focused, exactly what the rewired story needed. The cast didn't expect anyone to fill the role, but her presence shifted everything. Netflix knew recasting 11 would trigger backlash. But with the show inches from falling apart, they made the call. Bella Ramsey became the unexpected solution, turning Stranger Things into a final season built on reinvention instead of nostalgia. Millie Bobby Brown's departure wasn't sudden. Tension grew for months as she pushed for better terms while Netflix tightened control. When the revised contract arrived with a downgraded offer, she made her decision fast. She wouldn't stay in a role that no longer respected her growth. Her exit hit the production team harder than expected. Season 5 relied heavily on 11's arc, and losing the face of the series weeks before key shoots pushed writers into panic rewrites. Every major plot point depended on her presence, and without her, the story collapsed. Executives launched emergency meetings as schedules fell apart. Without 11, the emotional core of the season disappeared. Delays threatened the entire production, and Netflix couldn't risk missing their final season timeline. They needed a solution fast. With no time left, Netflix turned to the only option, replacing 11 entirely. It was a massive gamble that could divide the fandom, but the show couldn't move forward otherwise, and that decision led them straight to Bella Ramsey. With Millie gone, Netflix launched a quiet search for someone who could carry the final season. Casting teams looked for young actors with intensity and emotional depth. They didn't want a copy of Millie. They needed someone who could handle a darker tone. Bella Ramsey's name quickly rose to the top. Most audition tapes lacked the weight the role needed. Scripts couldn't be finalized without a new lead, and every delay pushed the season deeper into trouble. Pressure across the set grew as the search dragged on. Production couldn't move until someone stepped into 11's place. Then Bella's test footage arrived. Her delivery felt raw and controlled. Nothing like Millie's approach. She brought her own style, sharper and more grounded. That difference caught the creators' attention immediately. It wasn't about replacing Millie, it was about reshaping the story. Once the team saw her potential, everything accelerated. Private meetings began, whispers spread, and everyone sensed a major shift coming. Bella wasn't just another option, she became the solution Netflix was hoping for. Bella walked into the audition with calm confidence. The moment she read the new scenes, the room shifted. Her performance hit harder than anyone expected, adding depth and edge to lines written during emergency rewrites. By the time she finished, the room went quiet. She didn't imitate Millie's 11. She brought a darker, more focused version that matched the direction Season 5 was already leaning toward. The creators realized instantly that her tone aligned with the themes they were trying to build after Millie's exit. Bella didn't fill a gap. She redefined it. Executives replayed her footage over and over. She carried emotional scenes effortlessly, turning rushed material into something powerful. The writing team suddenly saw new possibilities for the final season. Bella made the character feel alive again. By the end of the week, the decision was obvious. No other audition came close. Her performance didn't just impress them, it reshaped the entire vision for 11's final arc. In a closed-door vote, the creators chose Bella Ramsey unanimously. Netflix approved her casting almost immediately, accepting the risk of fan backlash. They needed stability fast, and Bella proved she could anchor the season with confidence. The decision was kept under strict secrecy, while writers reworked scenes to match her strengths. Table reads shifted, costumes were redesigned, and stunt teams prepared for a new version of 11 built around Bella's energy and style. Cast reactions varied as the news spread. Some were stunned, others relieved production could finally move forward. Bella's reputation for intense performances earned quick respect among the team. She started preparing right away, studying the character's history and training for the new arc. With Bella stepping in, the show gained a fresh direction, a reinvention of 11 designed for the darkest season. Stranger Things has ever attempted. Once Bella was chosen, writers had to rebuild major parts of the season. 11's original arc centered on Millie's tone, but Bella brought a different energy. Darker, sharper, more internal. Scenes were rewritten overnight to match her style, shifting the final season toward a heavier emotional direction. Entire sequences were replaced as the team adjusted the storyline. Characters who depended on Millie's version now needed new motivations. Writers reshaped key confrontations and changed how Eleven's powers and emotions evolved through the finale. The season slowly transformed into something bolder and more mature. Netflix held off on announcing the casting while scripts were still shifting. They wanted the story locked before making anything public. Behind the scenes, the pressure was intense as deadlines closed in and rewrites piled up. Every adjustment pushed the show further from its original plan. By the time the rewrites settled, 11 had a new identity. Bella's presence shaped the tone, structure, and message of the final chapter. Instead of trying to replicate Millie, the season embraced a reborn version of the character, one designed specifically for Bella's strengths. When the cast learned Bella Ramsey would take over, reactions were mixed. Some were shocked that the show recast such an iconic role. Others felt relieved the season finally had stability again. The uncertainty caused by Millie's exit had left everyone on edge for weeks. Younger cast members took time to adjust. They had spent years acting beside Millie, and shifting to a new 11 changed the entire group dynamic. But Bella's reputation for intense, grounded performances quickly earned respect. Once table reads began, doubts started to fade. Older cast members saw something new in Bella's approach. She brought discipline, focus, and a darker emotional intensity that matched the rewritten script. Her presence made scenes feel heavier and more dramatic, giving the final season a tone no one expected. By the second week of rehearsals, the cast began adapting to the new energy. The show didn't feel like a repeat of earlier seasons anymore. It felt like a final chapter reshaped by a new force. Exactly what the production needed after nearly collapsing. The moment Bella was spotted near set locations, the internet erupted. Fans immediately suspected a recast, and tweets, theories, and edits flooded social platforms. Some celebrated the idea, praising Bella's acting range. Others were furious, calling 11 irreplaceable. The divide grew fast. Rumors spread that Millie had walked out, fueling speculation about behind-the-scenes tension. Leakers claimed scripts were rewritten overnight, and fan debates hit millions of views within hours. Hashtags demanding answers pushed the story into trending cycles repeatedly. Netflix tried to keep the situation quiet, but the fandom kept digging. Photos, travel logs, and insider comments surfaced daily, making it impossible to contain. Every new clue sparked fresh arguments about whether the show should continue without Millie. The noise grew so loud that Netflix had to prepare a statement sooner than planned. The recast wasn't just a production decision anymore, it had become one of the most divisive moments in Stranger Things history. When the online chaos became impossible to control, Netflix moved fast. They released a statement confirming Bella Ramsey as the new 11 and framed it as a bold creative shift for the final season. Executives praised her range and said the role needed a darker, more mature direction, something Bella naturally delivered. The announcement hit every major platform within minutes. Interviews, press quotes, and short teasers rolled out to soften the transition. Marketing pushed Bella as the evolution of 11 rather than a replacement. They knew fans were divided, so they focused on the story's growth instead of the drama around Millie's exit. Behind the scenes, pressure remained high. Writers were still adjusting scenes around Bella's tone, and production teams worked overtime to finalize new material. But Netflix believed the decision would pay off once audiences saw the new version on screen. The confirmation didn't end the arguments, but it stabilized the situation. Now the backlash had direction, and Netflix could finally move forward without secrecy. The final season had its 11, and Bella was ready to prove she belonged. Bella didn't step in to imitate Millie. She brought deeper emotional weight and a more intense presence. Her version of 11 leaned into trauma, identity shifts, and a darker internal struggle. The final season's tone grew sharper and more grounded because of her influence. Writers shaped the arc around Bella's strengths, building scenes that pushed the character in new directions. Conflicts became heavier, powers were tied to deeper emotions, and the central villain dynamic grew more dramatic. Bella didn't just fit the new direction, she elevated it. Fans eventually noticed the difference in leaked descriptions and casting whispers. Some embraced the evolution, calling it the boldest move the show had ever made. Others felt the recast changed the series forever. Either way, the conversation kept the show trending non-stop. Bella's performance gave Season 5 something unexpected, a sense of finality. Her delivery made the last chapter feel darker, more emotional, and more adult than anything Stranger Things had done before. Millie's exit closed the door on one era, and Bella Ramsey's arrival opened another. Netflix turned a crisis into a reinvention, shaping a version of 11 built for a heavier, more mature finale. Instead of collapsing under the pressure, the show found a new identity. The final season now carries a different heartbeat. Bella's tone reshapes the energy, the storytelling, and the emotional depth. The story isn't about replacing Millie, it's about evolving the character for the last chapter. For fans, the recast marks a turning point. Some will embrace the shift, others will resist it, but the series won't fade quietly. Bella Ramsey steps into the role ready to carry the weight of the ending. Stranger Things moves into its final moments with a new 11, a new tone, and a finale built on transformation rather than nostalgia. A last chapter no one expected, but one the show now depends on.